Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alice and this is English with Alice B, where you can come to learn English in a clear and simple way without the stress. So, which sounds better? You're wrong, or I'm not sure I agree with that. Both express disagreement, but one clearly is more polite than the other. In English, and particularly in England, disagreeing with someone can come across as rude or aggressive if you pick the wrong words and if you pick the wrong tone, even if that's not your intention. I know it's a bit of a stereotype that in England we are super polite, but it's true in fact, and this is reflected in our language. We do tend to find ways to be less direct, to be more subtle in our language. So if you're thinking of going on holiday there, working there and having colleagues, or if you know any native speakers from the UK, it is really important to watch your language. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about ways to disagree in formal and informal settings, professional and social, the different phrases we can use, and the different levels that we can use. You can slightly disagree with someone, or you can strongly disagree with someone. It's important to choose the right phrases, the right words, and the right tone for the situation. So let's talk English. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is important because in England, we do have a culture of indirectness, of being subtle, and being polite is a very important part of the culture. It can impact the way that people see you, and so the way that people treat you, the service that you receive, but also if you do genuinely disagree with people, that's important too. It's important to say when you agree or disagree with someone. So in English, we find ways to make our disagreement sound less confrontational. In some languages and in some cultures, being direct is normal. When I moved to Italy, this was something that I didn't find it difficult, but it definitely surprised me a little bit, just how direct and honest some people could be. You know, I remember I had a friend, and when I got my haircut, I said something like, oh, I got my haircut, do you like it? And she said, oh, I preferred it before. And for my English ears, I was really like, oh, that's interesting. In England, you would just say, oh yeah, isn't that nice? And then talk behind my back later. So this directness and this brutal honesty was something that I needed to adapt to. So it's completely normal in a lot of cultures to be that direct. But in English speaking cultures, and definitely in England, it is softened. That's not to say that English speakers don't disagree with each other. We do, often. But if you say, for example, I think that's wrong, it sounds rude. Even just the word no on its own can feel a little bit cold. You could say something like, no, I don't think so. No, not really. But no on its own is quite rude. So let's look at the different phrases, and we're going to divide this into levels. Level 1, soft way to disagree. Let's begin. Phrase number 1, I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure I agree. This is very common, it's very natural, and it has that typical thing that we do in the English language of watering it down a little bit. This could be heard in professional and social settings, and it's a very easy, diplomatic way to speak. Phrase number 2, I see what you mean, but... This, first of all, shows respect for the other person's opinion. I understand your point. I see where you're coming from. I see what you mean, but I don't agree with you. This one, again, is perfect for both professional and social settings. Another way to say this, another way to express this could be, I see where you're coming from. I understand your point, or I see your point, but. Phrase number 3, I'm not convinced. This sounds way more formal. It's perfect for a professional setting, and it may leave room to change your opinion. I'm not convinced Now, so convince me. You may find a way to make me agree with you. Phrase number 4, I'm not sure about that. This is very soft, very conversational. This would be better in a social setting, definitely with friends and family, if you're trying to keep the tone cool and calm. And again, it just leaves that room for doubt. I'm not sure about that. It's not, I completely disagree. I'm not sure. And phrase number 5, that's one way to look at it. This is very subtle, quite indirect, and you need to be careful with your tone on this one. This could come across as quite sarcastic or condescending if you use the wrong tone. Let's move on to our next level, level 2, a neutral way to disagree with someone. This is a clearer disagreement. And phrase number 1, I don't agree. Simple, direct, no room for misunderstanding, but it's not aggressive. Often we put with that on the end. I don't agree with that. A very similar one to I don't agree with the same meaning is I disagree. I disagree with that. This is a little bit more formal, though I would say you can use both of these synonymously. I don't agree, I disagree. It's the same thing, just I disagree. You're more likely to see it in perhaps written English and formal situations. Phrase number 3, I see it differently. I see it differently. This one is really good in discussions. Remember, discussions is like conversations. Discussions is not necessarily arguments. It gives, again, respect to the other person's opinion. It's not that you're wrong, it's just that I see it in a different way. And phrase number 5, I don't think that's right. A little bit stronger, perfect for informal situations. And again, it casts that doubt over it. I don't think that's right. I'm not strongly confronting what you've said, and I'm not strongly saying that it's wrong, just that I don't think it's right. These phrases will be perfect in classroom debates, in professional discussions, and of course, as always, tone matters. And our third level, strong disagreement. So phrases that you may want to use if you're strongly disagreeing with somebody. So I will say here, your voice, your tone, your intonation really matters. You can and should absolutely express that you strongly disagree with someone if that's the case. But the way you say it can really change the direction of the conversation. Especially if this is a professional setting, you have to keep a level of respect between you and your colleagues, you and your boss, you and clients. So phrase number 1, I completely disagree. Strong, clear, firm, no room for doubt. It's not just I disagree, but I completely disagree. You couldn't say, I completely don't agree. Remember in the previous level, I disagree, I don't agree were the same. With completely or with any adverb, I completely don't agree, it doesn't sound so good. I completely disagree. Phrase number 2, that's not true. Sometimes speakers want to spice that up a little bit. That's simply not true. I like this. This is a very elegant way to speak, but it can come across as quite strong. It's direct, it's a correction, and you are challenging what has been said. That is not true. That is simply not true. And our final one, absolutely not. This one is very strong and actually can sound a little bit emotional. I wouldn't use this in a professional or formal setting. In fact, I would only use this, me personally, I would only use this when speaking with friends or family. So one final point is face, voice matters. When you're disagreeing with someone, the way that you deliver it is very, very important. If, for example, someone says, tea is better than coffee, a statement that I profoundly disagree with, I might say, oh, I don't think that's true. But my voice matters, my body language matters, my face matters, oh, I don't think that's true. If instead I said, I don't think that's true, You feel the difference in it. My response is a lot more rude, it's a lot colder, it's more abrupt. Sorry, the door just opened. And even again, if you want to use one of those stronger examples, don't you think that tea is better than coffee? Absolutely not. Or, absolutely not. It changes everything. So be careful how you say things. And for me, I need to be careful of my face. My face speaks more than my voice. In English, I think it's important to say as well, we find the word stupid quite strong. If you really disagree with what someone has said, I would advise you not to criticize it. I'd especially advise you not to say, oh, that's stupid. What a stupid idea. This is rude and it can come across as aggressive. So if you want to sound natural with English and if you want to be polite, keep in mind voice, tone, face, and of course, the phrases that we've been through today. So I'll set you a quick challenge. The phrase that we used before, tea is better than coffee. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Put something in the comments below. Try and use one of the phrases that we've looked at today. And remember, the key is choosing the right language for the situation. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If there's any comments that you'd like to make, please leave something below. Keep an eye out for my next video, which will be alternative ways to say I agree. These videos are perfect if you're trying to learn English for the workplace. Thanks again for spending this time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.